I am going to say something that is probably going to trigger some of you. You need to recognize that the people that have money, it simply is a tool. Money doesn't make you more evil, it just makes you more of what you already are. On how to become a God-made millionaire. I am going to say something that is probably going to trigger some of you, but I believe that God uses people as messengers. And I know in my heart of hearts that I've had to hear things from people that at the time it triggered me, but I am so thankful it did because it woke something within me up. And my goal right now is to give you the tools that allowed me to live an abundant life. I want to make this video geared around how to become a God-made millionaire. And I'm going to give you some of the things that have helped me change my entire life, going from making $16,000 a year to scaling my business past 7 figures, being able to have the life that I have right now. And this is not to drop the things that I have, as in like, look at me. I don't think any of these things would have been possible without God. I truly mean that. But most importantly, I have seen it across the board where people say that they made a lot of money, but they're really unfulfilled. And then I've seen the opposite side of that. People that have made a lot of money and they're genuinely so happy. They're genuinely so fulfilled. And I think one of the biggest things that we've learned, especially if you grow up in a religious family, a lot of them have taught us that making more money is actually going to make you a bad person, or the more you have, the more greedy you're going to become, or money is the root of all evil. And these are programmings. These are tapes that are literally playing through your brain that are actually the thing that are keeping you from making more abundance. And before I go into my notes, because I have a full outline that I'm going to cover so that I don't forget anything that's valuable. So get your pen and paper if this is something that you want to learn from. But one of the things that I've noticed is that you need to recognize that the people that have money, it simply is a tool. And when you understand that that tool that God has placed here for us to be able to exchange, you want to also see that it's a magnifying glass. So money doesn't make you more evil, it just makes you more of what you already are. So if I'm already a giving person and I make more money, automatically the times that I have more money, the more I want to give. But if I'm a greedy person and I want to help nobody, the more money I have, it's not like I'm automatically going to be this like Mother Teresa and wanting to help more people. So that is the thing that I wish somebody would have shared with me, because making more money is only going to make you more of what you already are. So in this conversation, I'm going to share with you a few things. The first one is what it actually means to be a God-made millionaire. The second is why abundance is actually not selfish, and it is actually our duty in this planet if we want to make this planet better. And if you've been following any of my content, I talked a lot about the laws of manifesting, and all of this is actually rooted in the overall laws that govern reality. And I just want to really harp on this, because if I go and I throw myself from a very high place, the law of gravity is going to state that I'm going to fall on my face and I'm going to hurt myself. So this is something that I don't necessarily have to dispute. I don't even need to know how it works. I just need to know that it's a fact. So I really want you to understand this. The next thing is how faith plus your action is actually what's going to create your manifestation. The connection between the biblical truths and the universal truths. And this is something that I really love, because it's allowed me to change the way that I look at things, change the automatic thoughts that I have in my brain, which allows me to really think from abundance versus lack. And the last is going to be practical steps for you to actually go into overflow and understanding that God wants you to have more than enough. So with that, let's get into it. Now, the first thing we're going to talk about is abundance is not something that you chase, is actually something that you become, and it's something that most importantly you align with. Now, I want to read you John 10:10, which is from scripture, and it says, "I came that they may have life and have it abundantly." Now, even if you're not a religious person, because I consider myself a spiritual person, I've shared a little bit about my story. I was raised Catholic. I went through a very dark journey of the soul, and I essentially found my way to Jesus Christ. And if you guys want me to make a full testimonial on how my life has unfolded ever since I made that decision, I would be happy to make that, because I do believe that we learn from stories. So the more stories that I hear from people that are in alignment with my path, it's kind of like this hidden message that I didn't even know was there gets activated, and it just makes so much sense. So if you want to learn about that, I can make a full other video on that. But I essentially had a moment where I just really asked God for more guidance. And when you understand this passage from John 10:10, the reason I say it's not about being religious is because I believe that as humans, we have changed the word of God to be appealing in certain aspects of our life and not appealing in other aspects of our life. It's kind of like if I tell my kids right now, hey, don't say bad words, but then I'm always cussing all the time, which, by the way, I'm working on my potty mouth. But it's hypocritical, right? I can tell my kids don't be cussing, but then if I'm constantly doing it, it's very hard. Now, something that I do pat myself on the back for is that I've taught them how to be very positive thinkers, because they see me be a positive thinker. So every single time that my boys go through something, my youngest, my 5-year-old, he will tell me, Mommy, it's okay. Tomorrow's a new day. Mommy, it's okay. What did he tell me the other day? Nothing can ruin today. And I'm like, yes, boy, you got it. So I want you to understand that we have been brainwashed to believe that certain things are actually what we should apply in our life, and other things are things that we should just leave. And I really wanted to just highlight this part here, because if I'm telling you some of these things and you're like, oh, she's trying to push religion down my throat, no, I am, however, going to share with you the things that have allowed me to build the success that I have, because I do believe that it doesn't come from me. It is from God. So when you understand this, I came that they may have life and have it abundantly. He's basically talking about Jesus. Like, Jesus came to teach us how to manifest the life of abundance. And there are so many things that if you start incorporating in your life, like treating others the way you want to be treated, the energy that you're going to receive from that is so beautiful, that this is really what ties into you becoming a God-made millionaire. Again, money is not the root of all evil. It's you actually making it your idol. It's making it the source of your happiness, when instead of actually understanding that it's simply a tool. Now, this is what I want you to understand. Abundance, okay, is not just more money. It actually symbolizes more peace, more purpose, more provision for you to be able to do more for others, more overflow. And this is really where I have seen in my life that the more I have, the more I can help, the more I can inspire others, the more I have, the people that I grew up with actually look up to me and they're like, wow, I remember when you were that girl that was walking everywhere. I remember when you were that girl that didn't have a mom and a dad and you were up to no good. I remember when you were the girl that was wearing the same clothes all the time because you had no money. When I actually hear these things and then they're telling me, I look up to you, I always say it's not about what I've been able to do, because this is all God, but it is such a reaffirming thought, because I'm a proof that you can do it too. If I can do it, you can do it. And I see this for other people, like Myron Golden, one of the people that I follow. There's Danielle Palou. Like, there's so many people that I see where they've been and where they're going. And I'm just like, wow, that's amazing, because that means I can do it too, which is the part where, before we go into God laws and universal laws and how this ties into your life and becoming a millionaire, this is the part that if you can understand, it's going to allow everything else to be easier. If you don't have understanding over this, this is where parts of your life are going to feel very overwhelming, because you're going against the laws, you're going against the thing that has been written for you. And when you actually align with this is what makes it easier for you to understand that you're not competing with anybody. There's more than enough for everybody. Now, let's get into the second part here, which is the fact that the laws of the universe, they don't come from people, they actually come from God. Now I'm going to give you some examples, okay? When it comes to the law of sowing and reaping, this is actually from Galatians 6:7. The law of faith is actually in Hebrews 11:1. Ironically, 1:1:1. Law of thought and identity is Proverbs 23:7. And I'll insert them here for you guys to read them so that you can see what I'm talking about. But the key part that I want you to focus on here is what people actually are calling manifestation is often just misunderstood as the God principles, the principles that govern everything that we see. And this is why it's so hard for some people to make money and it's so easy for other people to make money. Now, I'll take it a step further. It's easy for some people to make money on the wrong path. And those people, you see how their life turns out. There's a lot of people. I went to one of the events with Tony Robbins. He talks about meeting billionaires, and that only a few of these people that he interviewed for his book actually were fulfilled. The majority of them were unfulfilled. They had a lot of money, abundance but they were not happy. And this is really where you are going to see that, yes, if you want to make more money, it's also about who you're becoming in the process. And a lot of us forget that. A lot of us just think like, God, why can't you bless me more with more money? Why can't you give me more opportunities? Why aren't you helping me? And I like to use the example of whenever I go and work out, my trainer knows what capacity to go and push me to. If I tell her, hey, keep going, put more plates, she is more than likely going to tell me, you're going to hurt your back. You're going to hurt your spine. You're going to do something that you're not going to be able to come back from. And this is the part where as parents, we do that for our kids. If our kid is trying to touch the hot stove, we typically tell them, don't do this because you're going to burn yourself. And a lot of us, we're asking God for more blessings without recognizing that God is looking at us like, you still can't carry that weight. And if I gave it to you right now, you would literally be bankrupt, homeless, or even worse in 6 months. So I need you to really change your perspective, because that's something that I've changed in my journey, and I've seen the difference in my life. There's been moments where business sometimes can go like this when you're not in alignment. When you become in alignment with the word of God, you understand that, God, you're giving me exactly what I need at the time that I need it. And something that I heard is that God is never late. He's never early. He is always on time. Now, this ties into you becoming a millionaire, because you also need to understand that faith requires action. So I can sit here all day and talk about, God, you're always blessing me. Thank you so much for all the opportunities. And then in the manifestation community, a lot of the girls are like, oh yeah, you can sit in your room and just script and visualize and think about all the abundance that you're going to make. I don't resonate with that, because for me, I'm like, yeah, I can sit there all day until I turn purple. But if I'm not doing any work, God is looking at me like, are you going to do something? Are you going to get up? Are you going to do something to show me that you're actually working in alignment? And this is the part where for you, maybe you're in a place in your life where you're like, Alexa, I really do want to make more money. I really do want to make more money. I just don't know where. Okay, well, last I checked, there is this thing called AI, and you can literally tell it everything that you want to do and just have it give you inspiration for some of the things that maybe you're lacking clarity on. I kid you not, there's so many business ideas that I have in my notebook, in my brain, that I have to actually put a pause on them and be like, okay, I need to focus on the thing that actually is going to serve to the highest level right now, because there's so many things. And when you actually read through comments of people that sometimes bash on other people, which again, they're just insecure, they just feel unhappy, so therefore they want to try and make other people feel the way that they feel about themselves. But when I see those comments, instead of me being upset about, what they're saying to other people or what I've seen in certain comments for even myself, I understand that the reason why they see lack everywhere is because that's all they're focusing on. Their RAS, reticular activating system, is programmed to focus on everything that they're lacking. And this is why Henry Ford literally says, whether you think you're right or you think you're wrong, you are right. And I really need you to see how this plays into the opportunities, because God could literally shut a door closed for you, showing you the new door that he just literally opened for you. But because you're so focused on the door that closed, you're not even seeing this other opportunity that just opened for you. And this is what I talk about when it comes to alignment. You cannot manifest anything that you're not in alignment with. I can go into par 102 and think that I'm going to listen to country music, but in reality, all they're going to play is hip hop. That's the same thing for you. If you're tuned into the frequency of lack, and I heard this one time, this creator talked about how God, if you think about it from the perspective of like God being our father or our mother, and he's up in the sky, and I'm just going to say he because that's what I'm programmed to already say. I believe that it's an energy, and I believe that it's a he and a she, and it's like this energy that I can sit here and give my explanation for hours about, which I won't do to you. But I remember that they said, imagine God being in the sky and looking down, and there's two kids, and one kid is playing with a toy that God gave the kid. And this little kid is playing with it, not taking care of it, throwing it and tossing it around, not really looking after it. Very, very unappreciative of the toy. And then there's another kid that is playing with the same, toy that God gave him, and they're taking care of it. They clean it, they wash it, they let other kids play with it. Think about it as this being literally the blessings that God gives you. Maybe it's, let's use money as an example. And you're always like, oh my God, I can never get enough money. Oh my gosh, my money is always escaping me, and I'm always broke, and I just paid a bill and I don't have any money. And look, my job, my boss, my family members, whatever it is. You're always focusing on everything that is missing in your life. When you see it from this perspective, who do you think God wants to give more abundance to? Do you think he wants to give more abundance to the kid that is unappreciative of everything that they already have? Or do you think he wants to give more abundance to the one that's like thankful and saying like, thank you so much? I know even for my kids, like if one of my boys is being ungrateful with whatever it might be, whether it was an ice cream that I bought them or whether it was something, and they usually really don't do this because I've taught them about this, but whenever it's happened, I will make it a point to ensure that my other son gets more so that the other kid can see, oh, I was ungrateful. And even now, my youngest is always like, oh, mom, because I still want them to have their own opinion, but like, oh, mom, I actually wanted this flavor, but I'm still grateful. Thank you very much. So that he's telling me he's thankful for it, but hey, if you could give me the chocolate, I would prefer the chocolate versus the vanilla. So you want to see it from that angle. If you were God and there's always this nagging that's happening in your mind at all times, do you really think you're going to see more of the opportunities? Chances are you're not, and this is why you feel like there is never more room for you to grow. Now, here's another part. You need to be willing to take inspired action. And I see this happen so much where people are waiting for things to just get resolved for them. People are waiting for the knight in shining armor to come and rescue them. People are waiting for them to get, this like opportunity that knocks on their door and just tells them like, hey, I have $1 million waiting for you. What do you want to invest it in? And that's just not something that you want to do. You want to be waiting and actually be ready. So for instance, if you want to call in more clients, what do you need to do? How do you need to present yourself? Like, I'll give you a perfect example because I'm in the real estate industry as one of like my main babies that I've grown ever since I was 21 years old. I'm about to be 30. Oh, even saying that, I'm like, God, thank you for blessing me. But I remember that when I started, the first 2 years were the hardest, right? And I remember that I just was delusional. I was delusional about what I wanted to achieve. And because I wasn't afraid of being perceived as dumb or being perceived as, she doesn't have a lot of money, I didn't care. Like, I went and knocked on doors. I went and I was messaging people. I was going and constantly prospecting because I wanted more opportunities. Later, I found better ways to do it, but I noticed, and this is part of where I say you need to be prepared for those clients, I noticed that a big theme between my clients, the clients that I was working with, is that a lot of them were married. So I wanted to ensure that I was professional, because if I'm working with a client, I don't know about you, but even if I'm the most confident girl in the world, I would not want to have my man next to this woman that is showing everything. Like everything, right? Like there are some girls that dress very provocatively, and hey, if that's you, do whatever you want. I'm not your mother. But my perspective is I'm not going to hire you. Like you might look great and gorgeous and you have some amazing legs, and kudos to you, but I don't want you near my family because I don't know who you really are. And this is something, again, it's going to be polarizing to some people, and that's okay. But for me, when I see it, and I've heard it in the industry, there's girls in the industry that are showing everything, literally showing everything. And like literally the way that I'm dressed, like I'm wearing a little cover up right now. I have some slacks. Like this is literally the type of outfit that I'll go and work when I'm going to see clients. If I wear a dress, it's like a longer dress, and I wear stockings just to make sure that I'm like covered up, because you can still look really pretty and classy and put together and showing your physique without being too revealing. So I've seen girls in the industry where literally people will say like, oh yeah, like that girl doesn't just sell houses. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's not something fun. So even for the team that I've put together, for the agents that we have on our team, I'm very particular. We need to make sure that you look the part. I do not want you showing more than you should be showing. I don't care if you have tattoos. I don't care if you have piercings. I don't care about any of that stuff. I do, however, care about how you carry yourself. And why does this tie into you being ready for the clients? Well, because if you're not ready for the clients, how do you think God is going to bless you with those opportunities? And even when you get them, you're going to not be prepared and you're going to lose that opportunity. If I go to a listing appointment and I talk with a client, and that client actually sees, right, that I wasn't prepared, or I didn't have the numbers, or I didn't have a marketing proposal, I didn't actually know the neighborhood, I didn't know my track record or days on market, any of these things, that client, chances are they're going to be like, yeah, this girl was not prepared. So you need to start preparing for those clients, whatever it is for you. After you've already decided with ChatGPT or with yourself or with your journal, with your aspirations, or where you've been in the past, this is the part where you can actually incorporate it into helping more people. Why did I start this channel? Walking Manifestator is a representation of me just trying to give back to people to help them become a better version of themselves. And something that I'm really excited to start incorporating is I want to teach more women how to start their own actual digital product. I want to teach more women to do the thing that I've been able to do. I've actually sold courses that have allowed other women to understand more of how to change their identity. But now I'm like, hey, you know what? I want to take it a step further, not just teach women how to think and create a new identity and manifest easier. I'm also going to teach them now how to start their own business, because that's something I've been able to do. This is what you want to do for yourself. You want to be able to teach other people the thing that you've been able to get out of. And maybe right now you're at a point where you're like, Alexa, I haven't been able to do that. I promise you there is something in your life that you are good at. And if you just sit there and actually think about it long enough, or you put in the work to learn something new, this is how you're going to be able to service more people, which is going to make you more money. Now, the next part I want to get into is your words actually create your reality. Your thoughts create your reality. And this is in Proverbs 18:21. Life and death are in the power of the tongue. And I have heard this many times where spelling is like casting a spell. So when you are speaking ill about others, when you are speaking ill about yourself, when you are speaking ill or death into your life, that is what you're going to attract. So if you are looking to create more abundance versus telling yourself, oh, I never have clients, oh, everything is going so hard, why not focus on the fact that you're like, you know what, I'm getting better. When I was in my first 2 years trying to start up my business, I never, and I kid you not, I never for a second decided I was going to give up. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to keep going. I don't know. And I had people telling me, you should give up. This is not for you. You're not making any money. Look, you should just go back to a 9 to 5. I I rejected that idea because I was like, I know who I am, and maybe that person can't see it right now, but I know God knows who I am, and I'm going to continue to show up. And this is something where your internal dialogue is tied into your identity. Your identity is also going to be tied into the actions that you take. Because a lot of us don't realize that the actions that we're taking is actually what shapes our identity. And we never fix the identity, so therefore we keep falling in the same loop. I just watched the movie yesterday of Serena Williams, and her dad actually says, follow the plan or the plan will fail you. And I was like, that is so good. I believe I had heard it from somebody else, but honestly, when that came out in the movie, I was like, yes, that is so true, because your actions are going to lead to your results. If I'm just sitting here all day, never going to the gym, never taking care of my skin, never taking care of my hair, never doing anything, I am going to feel really ugly, and I'm going to feel really bad because I'm not taking care of myself. Like, I remember there was a time that my hair was feeling like a little bit dull, and right now I'm like so proud of it because I'm like, oh my god, I've been taking my vitamins and I've been brushing my hair, I've been doing my thing, and look, she's getting nice and fluffy again, and very alive. I'm doing the work, and therefore the result is following. So you need to do the exact same thing. I even talked about this before, like my acne, this is my skin. I am not wearing any makeup. I just have my eyeshadow, my brows, and I've done the work to take care of my skin. So therefore I get to reap the result. Same with the business. It goes hand in hand. So you need to be willing to show up for yourself. You can't speak lack and expect abundance. You can expect for you to be lost and expect for everything to just align for you. Now, the last points that I want to share with you here is your identity. Your identity is what creates your reality. So when you understand that you are in a place right now where you need to speak life into you, you need to take action steps for you to actually call in that $1 million, that even that $50,000 additionally a year. Like, some of you are making, $50,000 a year, and another $50,000 a year would be the sky. And you would be so happy for that. But because you're not doing the work, you feel lost. You feel overwhelmed. You feel stressed out. And you're like, what do I do? This is the part that you need to shift in your identity. Show up. Find other people that are doing the thing that you want to do and learn from them, because I promise you, and I was like this, like, I want to be original. I don't want to copy anybody. Like, I just want to do it myself. I promise you, the person that you think that you're copying, they copied somebody because they got inspiration from that person, because there's nobody that's just original and that hasn't gotten some type of programming for somebody. But the difference here is who you are. I can be telling you the same message that another creator put together, but I'm going to share from my story and from who I am and where I've been and where I'm going. And that right there is the thing that's going to sell you on who I am and the values and the morals and the things that I have to say that are polarizing that maybe somebody else doesn't agree with. That is your secret sauce. When you can understand what is your secret sauce and you stop trying to be like everybody else, that's the thing that is going to make you millions. Now, the last things that I'm going to cover here, and it ties into being prepared. If you want to make 100 clients as a goal for your business, like let's say right now you already have a coaching business, or you have a real estate business, or you have an Airbnb business, whatever it is for you, right? Speaking of all the real estate things that I know. But let's just say you want to make more clients. I had one girl that I coached that she was telling me she wanted to make 100 clients. And I was like, okay, 50 clients. So I told her, why not push it to 100? And I was like, what would you need to do in order for you to call that in? There was this guy that I was talking to, and he would tell me the same thing. He was like, I want to, be able to market to these clients, and I want to be able to do X, Y, and Z. And I was like, oh, okay, awesome. Like, do you already have the system? Like, if I told you right now I have 1,000 clients for you, would you be ready? And he was like, no, I wouldn't. Okay, so how can you expect God to give you that blessing if you're not even ready yourself? And I'm not speaking here from like pointing my finger, because I know there's still systems that I'm working on continuing to get better, because the blessings that I've been able to call in came so unexpectedly that when they came, I realized, oh, I need to become this version now in order for me to hold this manifestation. I need to create this system in order for it to be easier for the person when they purchase or when they want to work with us. Those are the things that help you continue to provide service. And as I said before, when you take care of people, God will take care of you. Now, here is something that I also want you to really understand. You need to stop demonizing money. And this is why I said that this was going to be a conversation geared around God-made millionaires, because a lot of the times, because of our programming, because of how we grew up, because of the things that we heard, we actually think that money is evil, when in reality, it is simply a tool. In Timothy 6:10, it says, "The love of money is the root of all evil." Not money is the root of all evil. So if I start worshiping money and I don't care about my kids and I'm just like, no, I just need to make more money. I'm not going to take care of you guys. I'm not going to do anything for you guys. I'm not going to, whatever it is, that is the love for money. But I know right now it's a Saturday. I was very inspired to make this video, and I said I'm going to make the video, and then after I'm going to have a fun day with my boys for the rest of the day. We're going to go to the park, we're going to go watch a movie, and we're going to make a full day out of it. That is me having balance to actually still make time for the people that I love, that I value the most. But if I was just consumed by making more money, I would say, no, I'm never going to make time for anybody that I value. And I promise you, those are the things that end up backfiring later in life. Even when you make more money, when you get to a certain point where you made more money and then you look around and you're like, where's my family? Like, my whole family left me. Yeah, the love of the money is what caused you to let go of those people that actually cared about you, but you didn't care about them, so they left. And you need to be comfortable doing the uncomfortable. A lot of us have been taught that we should just feel comfortable and our soft girl era and everything should just be so soft and flowy. I believe that we have a masculine and a feminine energy within us. And when you're always in this just like parade mode of relaxation and spas and chilling and all these things that are not helping you, that is actually hurting you because you're not going to the gym. You're getting weaker. It's just like whenever I skip out on a week of going to the gym because I go and travel, I always make it a point that I walk to a lot of places wherever I'm at. Like when I was in London, I walked everywhere and I would get an Uber and I would walk everywhere just so that I was making my legs work for me because I wasn't really going to the gym. I had a balance there because I was there for vacation and I wanted to enjoy myself. But when I'm here at my hometown, I make it a point to say I need to work out because this is what's making me stronger. You cannot step into abundance when you're not in alignment and you're actually holding on to comfort. When you let go of the idea of being liked, when you let go of the idea of being perceived as somebody kind and gentle and whatever it is, because I know I have a lot of people pleasing tendencies because of how I grew up. I have to be okay with the things that I said earlier in this video when I was talking about the whole revealing stuff of like girls and how they dress. I know that made some of you girls probably not want to watch my videos ever again, and that's okay. I wish it wasn't like that, but I have no control over that. That is my opinion, and that is okay. There's a lot of girls that are going to respect that, and there's a lot of girls that are going to say, yes, I totally resonate with that message. This is part of your business. This is part that you need to do for you. I cannot be everybody's cup of tea. You cannot be everybody's cup of tea. And when you understand that there is a price of admission, and that price of admission is you being okay with being perceived a certain way, you being okay with being uncomfortable, you being okay with having people look down on you or try to make you feel bad about yourself, you being okay with the fact that some people are going to see you as you not being enough, but you knowing that in God's eyes, you are more than enough. You knowing that in God's eyes, you are doing the best that you possibly can, that you mean nothing but well and good for the message that you're putting out, for the service that you're putting out. This is the part that really changes everything and allows you to start quantum leaping into creating that life of abundance. Now, the last thing I'm going to leave you with right now is just some action steps that you can take and journal so that you can get more clarity around what is that thing for you. Unless I'm coaching you, I don't really know. And anybody that tries to tell you like, do this, do this, do this, without even knowing you, I think that you should be a little cautious of it unless you're watching a very particular video because you already know that that's what you're trying to learn. But this video is really just to help you get ideas of how to become a God-made millionaire. But I want you to ask yourself right now, what are the things that you're avoiding? Where do you feel resistance and hesitation in your life? Because maybe you already have an idea of something, but you're just afraid to execute. What is the story that you're constantly repeating in your head? Is it geared around, I'm not enough? I will never do this. This is going to take too long. What is that story? And what immediate action step could you take today that would help you get to that point of becoming the version of you that is that God-made millionaire? When you can see this, you're not waiting for God. God is waiting for you. God is waiting for you to go through the door and take the next steps to create the life of abundance that you have been gifted as your birthright. You are worthy. You are capable. And if anybody ever told you that you weren't, that was just a broken person that unfortunately felt that way about themselves. You don't have to make that your story. So I hope this format was helpful for you. I hope you took a ton of notes. In the next conversation, I will be giving you more strategies on how to run a feminine energy and a feminine energy business, because I want you to really understand that yes, it's important to be in your feminine energy, but it's also important to include your masculine energy. And as I mentioned before, I'm going to start making more content geared around helping you start your business, because I do believe that that's the thing that has allowed me to actually have freedom in my life. Yes, my mindset is everything, because without my mindset, none of that success would have come. But I also believe that it's important for you to have systems in place that are going to allow you to continue to grow. And freedom, that freedom that you want to just spend your day with your kids if you wanted to, that freedom to start working from home, that freedom to not be so overwhelmed over where your next paycheck is going to come from. That is priceless. So if nobody has told you this before, remember that you are worthy, you are loved, and you absolutely can manifest anything that you want. I will see you on the next one.